More.
The thing was, I thought you were trying to say a Japanese word. That's like how bad our accents are.
Welcome to Book Club.
Except instead of books, it's games.
Oh, and instead of a club, there's us two.
But the rest of the idea is 100% the same.
As every fortnight, we play one game solidly.
Then come here to talk about it.
And we want you to do the same.
All the games are retro.
Well, except this one. Most of them are Sega.
Some of them we've never played.
Or, we've just forgotten we played them.
Because we're old.
Because we're old.
Because we're old.
I'm sorry, what am I doing? Can I have some jam?
The Book Club has one central theme.
We play retro games for their quality.
Games that deserve to still be played.
There are some bonus old man memories to be had. You don't need nostalgia if the game is awesome.
We're going to prove it.
In the Book Club.
Hello, and welcome to Book Club, a special book club, a weird book club, a curveball book club, an odd book club. Let's just get on with it. Why is this so different, Mr. Tibbs Ahoy? What the hell game are we even talking about?
We are playing a Shinobi Art of Vengeance, and it's new. What's going on? This is not retro.
Even weirder.
Based off of retro, but
I have a copy as well. Cha-ching!
No way.
I can do an actual cha-ching.
Nice.
And I'm going to tell you a little story, because obviously this is a modern game. It's a modern era game, and so it's mostly digital, and people are trying to do us out of our physical copies. You've got a physical copy. Well done, you. To get mine, because obviously you can get a box quite easily in the UK, but that normally comes with a download code. Get mine. Amazon Japan. Cheeky.
There you go.
I had no idea if it would work. Didn't know if any of the download stuff would work. Absolute work like a charm. Podded.
Risk worth taking.
Worth taking. Put it in. Spoke in English. Happy days.
There you go. That's what you want, isn't it?
That's all you want. It was before telling that story, I thought it was going to be a better story, but it was sort of a happy ending, and everyone loves a happy ending, right? Let's get on with the show, because we both know where that's going, and neither of our wives will like it.
We don't want that anyway, right? Yes, where we are.
But it is a modern game. You might even go so far as to say it's a controversial game, because it's one of Sega's reboots. It's the first of their reboots from the New Era, New Energy franchise rebooting session that they're embarking on. And it's caused a few ripples. It's, a few little sort of fluctuations in the force where you've got people coming out on both sides, whether they love it or hate it, whether it's good or bad. And I feel like we need to wade into that a little bit in our own special way, which is to basically completely ignore what everyone else knows about a game and waffle on about some other shit instead.
Exactly.
Sounds good, no? But I do think it's worth it. It is an important game. I think that much can be said from the off. So, listen, we're going to go into what the game's about. We're going to obviously talk about whether we like it, what's good, what's bad, what works, what's different, like what kind of game it is and all that stuff. But I think we have to start with a little bit of heritage, because it is a reboot. That's a big part of what makes this game what it is and why it's even come out in the first place. So let's start at the start. Let's kind of go with the thought, and that is, what makes a Shinobi game a Shinobi game? When we're talking about they've rebooted the franchise, what exactly have they rebooted? Do you know what I mean? Let's start with that. Over to you. You know what I like to do. That's it. I like to come up with the weird, complicated questions and throw you under the bus. Here he comes now.
What is a Shinobi game? See, that is the question.
Nice pause.
Well,
like it.
Yeah, you like that. Well, Shinobi as well. I mean, that is hard, I suppose. And I'm going back to the original one that I had on the Master System. Obviously, it was in the arcade and stuff. And Revenge of Shinobi, they were kind of like our early games, weren't they, in the series? So it was kind of mostly, well, you were the ninja guy. A lot of it was shuriken based, like more than like swords. Although you did have swords, like in Revenge of Shinobi, if you get up close to an enemy, you can hit him with the sword. Although it was like mapped to the same button, wasn't it? So it was always a little bit hit and miss, like using it precisely, knowing when it was going to come out, I guess. But yeah, it was a lot more. I suppose it's a lot more linear than this game. It's like, you know, it was a standard kind of, you go through the levels, you know, there's boss, you progress to the next level sort of thing. Whereas this like newer one is there's a lot more exploration. Although I guess like exploration did feature slightly in the original one, because you would kind of look around for the hostages and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, nowhere near as expansive as what they've done now. So yeah, at the heart of it, that was it. You were Joe Musashi, weren't you, doing your ninja stuff all over the show? And yeah.
I don't know if you were trying to make that sound filthy or not. Doing his ninja stuff all over the show. Keep it in your pants, Joe. Well, that's the thing though. You were sometimes Joe Musashi. You were often Joe Musashi, I guess you'd say, but not always, were you? And so it even makes you think, can you name one thing that truly is consistent through all of the Shinobi games? It's like, all right, original hostages. Nope, pretty much can those off after the first game. Like jumping about between the platforms. Okay, maybe that's true.
Yeah,
Shot myself in the foot with that, because that one kind of is.
Yeah.
Shit like shurikens, kunai, yeah, I guess they are.
Yeah. And that was a big focus in those earlier ones, wasn't it?
I guess the thing always jumps to me, because my first Shinobi game was GG Shinobi, so the Game Gear Shinobi. And like before I played Revenge of Shinobi or any of the like Mega Drive ones that I guess are probably the most canon for long-term fans, you know, that's probably what we think of. So for me, it was, I guess, ninjutsu or magic of some kind, you know, like ninja magic, like sort of special abilities. So, you know, you'd get the ability to do your double jump, stick to the roof. Like Blue would have his little grappling hook swingy things, the special abilities, which you kind of cross over into like acrobatics, special moves of some kind.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what I expected. And you get those in the Mega Drive games, but they're different, and you know, it's not like there's a consistent set of moves that is the Shinobi moves. It's not even like there is truly a single consistent character. There's like obviously lore, but it's a bit all over the place. So
right, yeah.
You know, I guess what I'm thinking is, we feel like there's a thing that is the Shinobi IP. We feel like there's a thing that they've rebooted, but it's kind of a mix of quite a lot of things, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, you know, I'm a big fan of the Castlevania series, and it's like, you know, from the NES like through to the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive versions and all that sort of stuff, like PC Engine as well, like Rondo of Blood, and it's kind of got a little bit of a feel of that transition of when they then went to the 32-bit consoles and they did Symphony of the Night, and it's like, you know, it's got a little bit of that, like, you know, breaking out of the linear levels. Suddenly you're in like these areas that are like a lot larger, a lot more to explore, switches and all this kind of stuff everywhere. Kind of like a little bit like, I mean, like Symphony of the Night is sort of like one big map, I suppose, isn't it? And this isn't like necessarily like that. You still have levels, but not kind of in this kind of manner. So it's a little bit like, I mean, one of the last Castlevanias I played was Order of Ecclesia on the Nintendo DS, and it's kind of a little bit more like that. So you still kind of pick your areas and you kind of can move between them. Like, so when you get certain power-ups, you know, oh, there's that bit that I couldn't jump to before. I can, you know, I obviously needed an ability to get to this, and it's that kind of thing, like the going back and forth, and like, you know, and the game did draw me into, like, you know, doing all that stuff as well, because like when I started playing it, I wasn't intending to really get stuck in as much as I did. I just wanted to beat the game, but like then I did end up like 100% in it, because it's like it just kind of drew me in.
Got those skills.
No, man, I tell you, it was hard going at times. Some of the bits, it wasn't even the rifts. Like the rifts, like like there was like 2 of them that were probably like pretty difficult, like I thought. But like the one that really did me in was, there's this particular level where you have to get the Oboro relic, if I'm saying that correct, Oboro relic, and it was the last one. Like there's like 50 in the game or something, and I was on like 49. I just had to get this last one, and there's this bit where you have to this moving block that's kind of going through all these flames and like spinning blades and all this sort of stuff. And that was the thing. I swear it was like the hardest thing in the game. That it was like I did it so many times one night that I was like getting into this mental situation where it's like, well, that's it. This is my life now. This is just what I do. It's like, this is me in this section of the game. This is it going forward. It was just,
if you love it so much, why don't you just marry it? I tell you what. I mean, we're probably lucky these days that those bloody PlayStation pads cost such a fortune. Because back in the day, that situation would have definitely led to the pad getting chucked on the wall.
You know, it's nuts. It's like me and my wife, like we one of our kind of bonding things was like playing Gears of War back on the Xbox 360, and it's like they've just released like a new version or something like that. Like it's like a remaster or something of it. We were like, oh, we should get that. It's like the game's like 35 quid or something like that. It's like, oh, that's really good. And it's like, oh yeah, but we need a second pad because we only got like one controller. It's like the pads are like, what is it, like 60-70 quid or something? It's like, that's insane. It's like twice as much as getting the actual game.
Or you can do the special move that I did when I first got my PlayStation 4. I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll go to CEX because they'll obviously have some slightly cheaper pads. Their pads second-hand are more expensive than a new pad.
Oh, really?
Bizarre.
This is out of order.
It's just ours. Yeah, I mean, it's tricky in sections. I guess they've tried their hardest to make it very playable, but to give it some challenge. They've tried to like have a curve to it, which is a good thing. I guess original Shinobi had its fair share of absolutely nightmare moments as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Like those classic like double jump sections which are like millimeter perfect and just drive you insane or whatever. But I guess look at it, and I know all the furore that's like around the game, and I know like there's sort of opposing camps, but I guess just think, Have they honoured the franchise? Because they're never going to keep it the same. Like they're never going to just take the ingredients that were there and recreate them, because they varied. Have they honoured the franchise? That's the.
I mean, I think they have. I mean, the game is pretty much in the vein that I thought it would go in. Like, you know, it's kind of, I don't know. You almost don't want to say the natural progression, because I know there was a lot of people kind of rooting for it to be really like the old games and stuff like that, but like, you know, it's like, and I don't even really know what Metroidvania means, but like I think does this kind of take a lot of the elements of that sort of thing.
So.
Yeah, and it's like, it's, you know, I just kind of thought that's the way they were kind of gonna do it, and it is sort of like how that's panned out, but like, I don't know. Could you have envisioned it going a different way? I don't really.
Well, I remember when you and I saw the trailer, like some time ago now, and we both we saw the unlocked gates, and we saw like the idea that there was a bit of exploration. We both said, "Oh, I think they're going to add in like a bit of Metrovania stuff to it," and thought that's a good idea. Like because you can kind of keep the mechanic, and like you said, it's not one sprawling massive world.
Yeah,
you know, it's still broken up into chunks, it's still in levels, but just with exploration, and there are some big levels in there, so there's a lot of proper exploration back and forth. You can only get through certain places by unlocking gates, by getting specific abilities, by, you know, there is all that going on in there. But I remember when we saw that, we thought that was it. We both thought that was a good idea, and I really think it is, because it keeps it ultimately the action platforming stuff of original Shinobi, with using like the mechanics to be able to kind of get through the levels. It does that and just gives it a bit more room to breathe. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, and you know, that is very much a thing with how I felt when we got to Symphony of the Night. Like, you do have that same feeling of room to breathe. Like in this game, it's like you're not going to be immediately killed off like in some of the linear level games, where it's like, you know, you could die very quickly if you kind of don't really know what's coming, or if you're just kind of bad at the game. And it's like, you know, when you play Symphony of the Night, you have that breathing room. You can get further. It's like you're not going to die really, really quickly, and that's kind of what this game kind of feels like to me. It's like, you know, you've got the potential to have a look around, and it's like, you know, the enemies are there, but it's like you're not going to get killed off like quite as quickly as you would like in Revenge of Shinobi. It's like you've got a lot more room for error and stuff like that. Like
I remember you're
you know
talking
what
to
I
me
mean?
like, if you're saying you're not going to get killed off, just I can pretty much find a way to die in any situation. there's a bit on, I think it's the mountain level, where you literally don't have to go through the kind of lava section. And I just kept repeatedly going through it and just kept dying. And like, there was bits where it's like, you don't have to take on that enemy. And I just take him on and then die. And it's like, yeah, I can find a way to die. But
okay,
you make a point then, because it's like, the thing is, in both those games, they were able to kind of have two difficulty curves. Like, one was the enemies getting harder, but the other was also the exploration. You had to think more and puzzle it out and that stuff. And that combo really works in this game, because you're like, you're right, you get kind of, you don't have to fight. You can be a bit more like sort of hold back and work out what comes next. But the fights are there if you want it, the exploration's there if you want it. It's a good mix, right?
Yeah, and I did find myself scanning the map like much as I would do in like those Castlevania kind of games. You know, it's like kind of being like, well, hang on, there's that little corner there. Maybe there's a little room off to the side of it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Kind of, it's like a lot of maps, like studying the map and things like that. And it's and that was and to be honest, I really enjoyed that. Like maybe it's my age, I'm not quite as up for the challenge anymore, or something like
some
that.
old dude in his study with his monocle going, oh, look at this church with the spire. But the sorry, it just made me laugh. You know, I literally just said I could find a way to die, because I did that thing with the map. And you know, sometimes you can sniff it out and you're like, oh, the map's a bit shaded up there, that looks like it's a definite like place where something's gonna be hidden. And I convinced myself that this bit on the map where kind of all you could see was like what looked like a hole, and then it went shaded, I was like, that's definitely something down there. Leap. No, there's nothing down there. I'm dead.
I know. Well, you got to try those. You got
to try it once.
Exactly.
What you don't want to do. What you don't want to do is record it for footage and then play it below. And I'm pretty sure that bit's going to be in there. That's going to be orcs. I
don't know. Oh dear. But no, actually, you know one I did run into a glitch that's in the game actually with the map, because of I think there's a thing where you do one of the rifts, and like afterwards, it's like the map kind of crashes or something like that. It doesn't like work properly anymore, and it's I think you have to kind of reset the game or something, because it's like
and
it
you lose
happens
your
every
progress.
time.
Because didn't this happen to Mr. Thunderwing as well? I'm sure he was saying he played it and like got the but I have a feeling, is it just PS5? I don't know. Anyway, but I have heard about it.
Yeah, but no, it definitely happened, because I was suddenly like, you know, I'd done one of the rifts and stuff, and I didn't actually make that connection that that's what was happening, that after the rift, that's when this map problem was occurring. But I saw someone else mention it in like a comment section or something, and I was like, oh, that's that thing that was happening, and it did happen. Like, so you basically can't see where you are on the map, so you're kind of going blind into the level, which is like, in a way, it was quite fun and challenging, kind of like, you know, just trying to figure your own way through. But like at the same time, when you're kind of looking for all the relics and the secrets and all that sort of stuff, then you do kind of need that map available to be able to.
I like the way you put a positive spin on that. That was good. That was going to be. It's kind of fun when the game completely breaks. Love that glitch.
In a world of glitches, it's a good one.
I did find another one actually. Sorry, it ran a bit of a tangent going to the glitch, but I've like replayed, because I was like trying to record stuff for this. I replayed the first level and got to the boss, and it's just an empty screen, no boss there, but also also no way of exiting either. You just
you just have to quit.
You just have to quit.
Map.
I don't know if you call it a glitch, because it's sort of, maybe it's deliberate, but why they would do that, I don't know.
It's just because of like, if you're doing the story, like, you know, you've killed the boss, you don't need to kind of do it again, sort of thing. So then when you get to that bit, then
you're
just
very
quit,
kind to them these days. Like, no, that's not a glitch. It's like, okay, it doesn't feel deliberate, but it's fine. It's fine.
But actually no, because you were playing the Switch version, didn't you? How did you find it? Like, did it run all right? Because I did see someone saying that the Switch version didn't run so good or something. But did you encounter anything?
Well, I have to just take one pinch of salt, because I did play it, but I also played it through OBS because I was mostly like recording stuff, and OBS is like a tiny bit of lag, so it could have been that. But I did notice slow down quite a few times, like juddery frames and stuff. And I thought, I did think, man, I'm not being funny. I know the Switch is not a mega console or anything, but you should seriously be able to handle this. It's like, so
sure.
It was noticeable a few times, which is a shame because obviously a big part of it is that it's fluid and it's clean.
Yeah,
and it looks so, a bit of a bugger. But I mean, it didn't. I can't say it distracted from me enjoying the game, to be honest. But
it's just a brief thing, okay. That's
but
good to know.
I just think honouring it. I think Room to Breathe is a great way of looking at it. I think they've expanded on the good ideas, and I was saying to you before, I get they've changed stuff, but for me, the main thing they've done is just taken an idea and literally just thought, how can we make that more fun? Like, so they've taken like the double jump, and instead of thinking, oh, how can we make it so you have to exactly time your double jump so it only works where you hit it at the exact same point at the apex, which is obviously the original version. And they'd just be like, why don't we just, they would have said it in a French accent because they're from Paris, why don't we just let him double jump whenever he likes? And then they've added like the little sort of splashy pond thing. I just feel like, I wish Sega had done that. I prefer that. Like, so,
you know what? That was one of my biggest like annoyances, I guess, with Revenge of Shinobi when we played it recently. I think we did a book club of it. Yeah, of course we did. Yeah, and it was some of the jumps. You know, the level with the logs coming down and you having to do it, and there's some points you have to double jump, and it's like if I wasn't hitting that double jump at the right second, it's like there you go, tumbling all the way down the waterfall. Like, I could have cried, but but there's none of that. It's very forgiving, isn't it?
And because there's an equivalent level in Art of Vengeance, you know, where there's loads of rocks coming down and you have to like jump up and stuff, and there's like a similar level to the I suppose it's in Shinobi 3 where it's like a rising lift, isn't it? And you have to sort of like keep ahead of it and stuff. And on both of those, there's challenge. They have dumbed it down a little bit, but there's still challenge. But it's basically just about have fun. There's about 20 different ways you can recover. So if you mistime your double jump, you can do a dash and you can catch onto a ledge.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways.
And I'm like, relax, everyone. There's a way you can recover. You know, it's a French way of doing things. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
But I just think
there you go.
It feels more like I don't know. This is gonna sound so stupid. It feels more ninja. You know, if I was a really good ninja, I wouldn't back myself into a corner where I have to exactly time my double jump somersault thing. Yeah. I'd just be able to do it. You know what I mean?
You know there'd be a way out. It's like the difference between Roger Moore and Daniel Craig, like in the Bond film where he dies.
Yeah.
Like sorry, plot spoiling kind of thing. But like I was just watching. I think Roger Moore would have got out of that. There would have been a way, and that's what this Shinobi game is like. There's a way out.
You know something I'm going to make it. This is not a fair comparison, but it's a useful one. Remember, like we were talking about Streets of Rage 2, and I always thought one of the best things about it, and they got it in Streets of Rage 4, was the feeling like you can basically just chuck together a fight using any combination of moves. Like every situation's a bit different because you chuck your moves together in a different order. And that's what's fun, because it's kind of randomized, it's not overly structured, it feels like you're the one choosing how to fight, and it feels really fluid. That's what this feels like. Do you know what I mean? It feels more like, okay, you could send 100 people to do this situation in the game, and we'd all do it slightly differently, but because you can. No. And
that is the thing. It's like, you know, the amount of comments like I saw of like, oh, that's an interesting way to do such and such a piece, because like I think it was like I was interested after I'd done certain like of riffs, like, oh, like was that the way that it was meant to be? And so I like watched some YouTube videos and then saw what people said, and they were saying like, oh, like I did it this way, and it's like, you know, there's a bit of variety in there, because I didn't like want to spoil myself on anything before I finished the game. So like and it was pretty eye-opening, because I watched the Sega guys video, like their review after I beat the game, and I was really surprised at all the comments, because people were really kind of quite negative about the game in the comments section, and I was a bit like, oh really, is that the kind of is that kind of how people are feeling generally about it, or is it just, you know, they just want to voice their opinion under a review that's quite positive? Because the Sega Guys one was quite positive, and that's kind of like how I felt about it, because I had a real good time with it. But yeah, it was kind of a bit, oh, okay, that's not kind of the angle that I was kind of thinking of.
Surprising.
For it, but yeah, but really surprising.
You can have a very different experience of it, I get that, but
I
just felt that was a positive. I just thought it was like, but so
yeah, definitely.
I do think that they've taken a lot of core bits and they just haven't been beholden to old mechanics, and I'm okay with that because they've made them more fun. That would be my general thing, you know. I mean, they had to do something, didn't they? They had to progress it. I mean, it's not like it's the Panzer Dragoons Vi kind of thing like that everyone's going in on at the minute. I mean, you know, this is doing something like pretty cool, I think, whereas that game looks a bit ropey so far. Well, that is the other way of looking at it. You look at Panzer Remake versus Panzer Old, and you think, I have lost something there. Like, there was something in the old style that felt magical, and I just don't get it. And I don't feel like I've lost anything on old Shinobi. We'll come to a couple of bits which are like, obviously, some classic things around the old games that you know, you could argue you've lost, but I don't feel like I've lost anything. I feel like I've got a new game that takes some core stuff and runs with it. So.
Yeah. No, I definitely have a feeling that we've gained rather than lost anything. I mean, I mean, it's got some great moments in it. It's like, I mean, the bit where you're like running into the city and there's that lantern festival thing. I mean, like that was that was a real little moment. Like I was like, oh, this is nice. It reminded me of, like, you know, do you ever see Tangled when they're in the boat and it's like the romantic moment and the songs playing? We're kind of like, you know, I love that kind of scene with all the lanterns and stuff, and it was
you're gonna make me tear up.
You're gonna puke there.
No, you're gonna make me tear up.
I wasn't sure. Tearing up or puking is like a fine line.
It's a good film, but that moment really gets me, man. Gets me right here.
Oh, it does. Yeah. It's really rooting for Eugene in that one.
Come on, Eugene, with your big nose. See, we're cut from the same cloth, me and Big Nose Eugene. And so we've kind of said for a while, you know, talk about the developers. There's just, if for people that don't know, I do a little sidebar on Lizardcube, because we don't want to delve into the whole thing, but there are a few interesting things to say, because obviously they're not a massive dev. They've not got a load of games under their belt. So what they've done, I guess, tells us a little bit about who they are and what they're doing next and stuff. Just remind me what the main things they've done. Or remind us all, like, what are the main things they've done so far?
Well, Shinobi is kind of like the third main game they've done. The other one is, because they've only been around since 2015. So they've done Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, which was good, actually. I enjoyed that. I mean, it's very similar to the Master System one, I think. Like I was saying before we started this, like, I don't know if there's like differences. I don't know the game well enough to be able to distinguish, but you can actually switch between the graphic styles on the fly of the new kind of hand-drawn looking stuff and the Master System graphics,
which is neat.
So yeah, that was cool, and I really like that game. Then the next one is obviously Streets of Rage 4, which is just, I think that's just fantastic, like amazing. Yeah, one of the best. Like, to be able to challenge Streets of Rage 2 in any capacity at all, I mean, that's like got to be an amazing game. How dare
they be that good? Yeah,
I know.
And again, obviously,
absolutely love it.
Obviously, we acknowledge a lot of people not the graphics on that. A lot of people don't like the style changes. I get it, but god damn, it's a good game. Okay,
it's a really good game. I've spent a lot of hours on that. I'm talking like in the hundreds. I was surprised because it's on the PS5. It actually says like how many hours you have spent on each game, and I was like, oh, dude, so I gotta get a life or something. It's like, no way. But amazing. And then and Shinobi is the third one. So
which is not long. And obviously, you know, these are, you know, reboots, revamps. That's their thing. It seems to be where they're going. And we did clock. They've, you know, you go and explore about them, and they've started a few other games. A couple of games which are in the mold of, say, maybe Streets of Rage 4, maybe Shinobi, that almost seemed like them cutting their teeth, or maybe like proof of concept for these games, you could argue. Which seems even more likely, because you can see they've done a mock-up of Kid Chameleon, admittedly in like a Dragon's Trap style, so I'm not sure it's serious. But can it be a coincidence that Sega have also registered new trademark for Kid Chameleon? I don't know.
Intriguing.
They've done what is basically just like a knock around muck about tech demo thing that's obviously based on Street Fighter. I can't remember what it's called, Art of Fighters or something. But like it, and you just think, okay, these guys are clearly interested in stuff we like. They're clearly pitching themselves as, we are rebrand people, we can boot your thing. I think everyone's kind of thinking they may well crop up again in this very batch of games that Sega's got going, but that seems to be who they are. And they're just a small team, just a little team. I think like this guy Ben Fike,
like the old days,
just like the old days. That's where I was going. That's what I like.
Oh, sorry, I stole your thunder.
Actually, I'm gonna be really honest. Somewhere in the back of my head, I was thinking that would be a good comment, but it wasn't really where I was going. But you've made me think. Let's go there. So teamwork makes the dream. But yeah, you got this Ben Fike, Vincent Lezieux, and some other guy, whose name I can't remember. Omar Konu, who I think might be the guy that's left. Somebody's left from that.
Oh yeah, someone set up in a new studio, yeah.
But a real core, and then they get some, some hired help in, and it feels very much like in the mould of like an Ancient or one of the old guard, which would have like their core guys, and then they like draft people in and stuff. And I just think, I don't know, I'm fine with them. So far the stuff they've done, they've had to do some bold choices, but they've been pretty much on the money for me. So.
Yeah, for me, I've played all three of those and loved all of them. So 2 thumbs up for me.
I like it.
Keep going, guys.
So let's talk about something that's not actually in their gift, but it's obviously very important to the game, and that's the music. Because, we said earlier, like, obviously one thing, obviously I'm specifically talking Revenge of Shinobi, but also Game Gear Shinobi, something that really is attached to the Shinobi franchise is some awesome music. And this one, I guess there was a lot riding on it, because people were expecting like a big stellar soundtrack. How did you find it?
Yeah, it's like, well, I think the point you made before we started recording, that it's kind of like, it's going for a different dynamic, isn't it? It's like, the Mega Drive ones and that are very strong melodic kind of like distinctive tunes, like, all those kind of like Chinatown, all those kind of ones. It was like, it's such a revered soundtrack that it's almost like, where do you go from that, because you're kind of not gonna best it, and so it's like, anything else is just gonna be kind of a little bit probably in its shadow. But I don't even feel like they've really tried to challenge the Mega Drive soundtrack, because the angle they've come, well, you say about the angle that you were saying about beforehand, because I thought that was the good point.
I think it links to what you said before, that they've made the levels are a lot bigger and much more exploration. So the Yuzo Koshiro Revenge Shinobi soundtrack, it's like the levels are 5, 6, 7 minutes, like if you sort of go through them quick. The soundtrack, like the tune has to loop a couple of times, so they are big catchy tunes, a strong melody, and they work for that. You can't really do that for a game that's sort of now on the sort of slightly bigger scale that this one's on. So it feels like they've gone cinematic score. So they've kind of said, okay, it's not so directly noticeable. It's kind of more just scene setting and gives you the vibe and gives you the feel of the level.
That's it, yeah.
Rather than stand out. If we kind of take it as that, does it still work? Is it a good, impressive soundtrack? I don't know. Like, if we accept they've done a bit of a change of what they were aiming for, how strong is it?
I still really enjoy it. Like at all times, I thought it very much fit the game and was, it complemented everything very nicely. And there were certain points, like where the melodies were kind of quite catchy, and like, like afterwards I was humming it and stuff, like, that was a good takeaway. I think when I first played the demo, there wasn't any kind of like, it was all the kind of film score style soundtrack kind of thing. And you know, like I kind of did note that I kind of walked away with nothing really stuck in my head. But like, you know, as the game kind of progresses, there are some of those moments. But it's like you're saying, they're making music that kind of fits the scenes more than anything. And I thought that was like, you know, when you said that, I was like, yeah, actually that's kind of a good way to look at it.
And the feel is good, isn't it? You know, like each.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, it definitely fits.
You do get a real like vibe from it, and
yeah.
I would say, yeah, there are some standout tracks. I mean, I love, and it always gets stuck in my head, the main boss theme.
Oh yeah.
Which, you know, just a little plug. We have got a little short out there if you want a little listen. Just saying.
Have a butchers. Have a butchers.
Have a squiz. And other phrases. You know, no, I think it's great, and I think that I like the fact that it's maybe a tiny bit more in the background, because you are exploring. I think if it had too much of a hook, it would grate a bit. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
exactly. I mean, it's again, I'm gonna go back to the Castlevania thing, but you know, it's like the earlier Castlevania. You have the Simon's theme, the Bloody Tears, all that sort of stuff, and it's like. When you get to Symphony of the Night, you haven't got that. It is a little bit more scene-setting music, and in the same way, that's kind of how it kind of panned out in my head. Yeah. I mean, like I say, I mean, like there are certain songs like I really like the end music actually. There's a particular track, and it is kind of one that kind of cycles round and loops and stuff, because there's a lot of credits that are playing, and but there's this really cool tune that's playing, and I just sat there and like just watching the whole thing, and it was like, yeah, this is a good one. But there are those things in it too, so it's not all.
And I don't know. So obviously the vast bulk of it is by Tee Lopes, and then there's. I don't know how much Yuzo Koshiro's done. My understanding is it's one track or a couple of tracks. So I think it's mostly what we talk about is the Tee Lopes soundtrack. And I would say this: the dude's definitely good. He's really talented. Because, you know, the stuff that I know him, or like I picked up of his, because what's done bits on Sonic Mania, he did Sonic Superstars. Amazing. I think he did stuff on, and or one of the other Sonic games, and a few other bits which. Don't spring to mind, but I remember like looking up his credits for and thinking, oh yeah, I really like the tunes on that track. The guy is definitely talented, and so you know, I think I reckon he had a brief for this, and I reckon he smashed it. And maybe, you know, not that many sort of obvious like standout humble tunes after, but there's a few, but everything is really good quality. So
it is. It's very impressive, I think. I mean, I would like to throw on the soundtrack. Just, I think it's not on many streaming services or anything like that yet, but hopefully they'll get it on there so that we can have a listen. Oh, it's probably because I think is one of the top tier packages of this that you can download got the soundtrack or something
Digital
like
Deluxe
that.
One, I think, has got it or something.
Something like that. Yeah. Oh, we might get it at some point. So.
We are just mere paupers. But, you know, we can play the game, listen to it in there, happy days. And if you're as bad as I am and you keep dying, you get to really listen to it. So it's good. Oh, man. There were some sections where I just did die over and over again. I will say this about that, though. I think they've just about got the sort of continue points right. You know, it's kind of, they send you, if you die, I did find that sometimes found a way to die on some really easy bits, and then it sent you back a while. But if you generally, when you die, you kind of go back a reasonable amount of distance, that there's a penalty, but it's not soul destroying, and I think it's good. It's good. Props to them for that. Well, the other thing then is you got to talk graphics, because these are the two big chunky changes. You've got three big. You got what they've done with the gameplay, music revamp, and obviously this is a massive graphics style change as well. What are you making of it, Mr. Dibs Ahoy? Are you with it?
Well, I mean, yeah, I like it. Like, I mean, I've kind of warmed to it, I suppose, through you know, from the Wonder Boy game that they did. But I mean, I know that when Streets of Rage 4 was first shown off, people were a little bit like, I'm not really sure about the look of that. But then I think the game was so good that it kind of gave them a bit of, you know, like people were a lot more sympathetic to than they were initially when the game was first shown off, and I think people kind of grew used to it. But like, I don't know, I think like Shinobi, I mean, I like it. I mean, it's when, you know, at the beginning of the game when you open up and you're in that field and stuff, and it's kind of got like that washed out, like what was it? Was it the Sega guys was saying, comparing it to like a Kami or something like that, and it's got that kind of like look about it, and I was a bit like, yeah, it does actually, and it's like, you know, it's almost like you start out on that level, and as you progress, you get into these other areas, and there's more color and shade, and all this other stuff kind of comes in, but I really like it. I like the hand-drawn look. I mean, I did see one of the things that someone was criticizing it was, even though the game is like running at like 60 frames, the actual animation frames of the characters weren't like, you know, there wasn't like 60 frames of the character's animation like within each frame and stuff, and they were kind of, you know, being a bit down on that, but I kind of didn't really, I gotta say, I didn't really particularly feel like that. I quite liked it. It's like, you know, I mean, there's enough flow in all the motion of the clothes and all that stuff, and it's yeah, I thought I overall I thought it was really good. And like I say, when you get to bits like the section with the lanterns and stuff, that's all really nice to like look at. It's like, and that kind of stuff is throughout the game, like you kind of beholding a lot of like the artwork and things like that throughout the game.
Some of those scenes are they're genuinely beautiful, and they're kind of, they give you that, I suppose they give you that rush of like being impressed and awe that some really massive 3D games achieve through sheer power. These guys have done through art and artistry, and I think that's something great. And a lot of those scenes, like that lantern scene, and I guess when you come into the city and you get some like the neon stuff, and when you like see the big robot set up in the mountain and stuff, some of the things they do with the big backdrops just wouldn't work if they'd gone anywhere near sprites. Like if they'd done anything like sprite or pixel based, then you couldn't have gone big on the backgrounds in the same way. It just kind of wouldn't have worked. And I also just think, I don't know, I sort of feel like some of what they were going for in the original Shinobi games, and I'm not talking about original, because original like arcade, it's kind of, I think realistically they don't get the graphic style right at all because they had such limitations. But later on, it's kind of moody and it's dark and it's sort of somber and stuff. It's sort of classic Mega Drive. They carry it through to Shinobi X, and I guess you carry it through even to the PlayStation games, that sort of moody, somber stuff. This one kind of mixes in like a bit more light and shade to it, but I think gets more of the aesthetic right. It's sort of more, it feels more ninja-y and it feels more Japanesey, and it, you know, it just feels like, I don't know, it's got more of a character. And I just think they could only achieve all of that stuff by going hand-drawn and going for the style. But the other massive thing is they're just bloody good art. Whoever it is, I can't tell you his name because I didn't even look it up, but whoever it is, he's bloody good. Like all the hand-drawn art is gorgeous. So style or not, you've got to respect how good quality it is. So,
well, absolutely, yeah. And it's like, I mean, they would have had their hands full of the quantity throughout the game, because it is actually, there are like, I think is it 12 levels overall or something like that, and it's like they're quite large, and it's like the variety as well. Like one of the later levels, you get go down the throat of this giant monster, and you're inside the body of this thing, and you have to like go to all the different organs, and you want to try to track down the heart to destroy the heart to kill this monster. And it's like, you know, that's such a different thing like than, you know, when he's been drawing like these towns and cities like in this kind of particular style. And then, you know, there's like a lab that has these like gross looking mutated enemies sort of later on the game that I saw a lot of people kind of criticize that kind of stuff as well. Cause
are we going to make a mum joke here? I don't know, just it's waiting for us. Anyway, carry on.
It is, isn't it? But yeah. But no, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed the lighting. I enjoyed all the different scenarios and that. And yeah, I was quite happy with it. Yeah, that's how I felt about it anyway. It's like,
I don't think people can criticise a new Shinobi game for chucking in some weird stuff. The dude has fought some weird things in his time. You know, it's just like, it's kind of just been a bit out there. So
I mean, he's in Shinobi 3. He was a surfboarding ninja. I mean, it's like things are gonna get weird. So.
You got to remember how far the original games pushed it. So yeah. But I think it looks gorgeous. I actually love the style. I think it was the perfect way to go. And I guess I can't pretend like to have called which way it would run, but as soon as you saw it, I was thinking, I think that's what I would have wanted. Had I had any artistic talent at all. So.
It's I mean, actually, like just an overall kind of perspective of the game, like I was kind of almost looking for a game like this to turn up, because like I would alternate playthroughs of Symphony of the Night and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Like, every year I kind of will play one, and I kind of feel like I can put this game into that kind of category, you know what I mean, into that rotation. Whereas like I know that a lot of people were kind of saying there's so many Metroidvanias and all this sort of stuff, but it's like I don't play like a whole lot of modern games, like we're always playing like Sega Saturn or Mega Drive and stuff, so maybe I haven't played like half as many, because everyone says there's so many of them, but like this game really ticks some boxes for me. I mean like I played like one of the recent Metroids that was on the Switch, and that was kind of, it was all right. I did kind of like it, and I played like a bunch of the Shantae games and stuff, like, but like this game kind of, it feels like to me it could sit nicely alongside those two other games that I mentioned, and I'm envisioning a future full of playthroughs of this one.
Yeah, I can see it. And I think the other thing though is, you could say, have they really taken forward the Metroidvania thing? Because it's a bit Metroidvania, it uses exploration and a lot of the elements and stuff.
Like I say, I don't really know what Metroidvania means. I mean, it's not a Metroid and it ain't Castlevania, so it's like, I'm a little out of the loop.
Metronobivania. There you go.
There you are. Yeah.
Coin that here. If you see that in the press, Gaming for Ages done it. Yeah, copyright GFA. So. But I think the thing is, though, you've got exploration, but we've got to talk gameplay and controls as well, right? Because the thing is, unlike even Metroid or Castlevania, there's a hell of a lot to do even in each scene, because you can have. I mean, I have replayed sections quite a few times, and I have a different battle with the same enemies every time, because there is a good range of moves. You can mix up your combos and come up with like your own particular attacking style. And how did you find it yourself? Because I've seen a few different views on it, so I'm interested. Give us your honest take, like combos, gameplay, attacks, fighting. What do you reckon?
I mean, I really enjoyed it. I found it fun. I liked unlocking all the additional moves that you could do, so that you could, like, there's like a rolling knee that I particularly like doing and things, and the thing where you can like dash past a person and you kind of spin like that, and then you end up on the other side. That's really fun. So there's a lot of different elements to it, and I mean, one of the things I did find is that sometimes there was like so much on screen, I couldn't quite pick out where my character was. Like, you're kind of getting swarmed by enemies and things like that.
You're getting old.
And it's like, I think so. But it's that was kind of the only real struggle I really had in combat situations sometimes. And it's like, if you kind of like in one of the rifts and you kind of like on a couple of platforms, it's almost like a Smash Brothers setup where you got like a high platform, a low platform, and you lock to that, and then multiple enemies are coming on and stuff. And if I can't see where I am, I kind of ended up falling off a lot. But that was kind of my only real problem I had with any of the combat situations. Overall, it's like very flowing, very satisfying, like so many moves. Like, I mean, you just have a ton of variety. Like, once you've fully unlocked your character, it's like there are loads of moves, and that's not
you can set it up. It's like, you don't have them all in there. You set your character up, and you can kind of like pick one to work for you and stuff. And I have enjoyed the variety. I would say, like, I don't know, like sometimes some of the simple enemies are a bit too simple, and there's a bit of repetition of like, I'm fighting the same dude and stuff.
Yeah, I want the little guy with the pistol and stuff. Like
the little army pistol, guy. The like basic grunts and stuff. And there is you get more as you go along, and it's sort of
you get different varieties of them.
But I would say, like, when you're up against the bosses, and you can make full use of the range of movement that you've got. So, you know, aerial attacks, ground attacks, the roll-in knee, the like dash pass, the, you know, the boosty thing with the R button, whatever it's called. You know, when you can really string together like meaningful combos that you're actually doing deliberately because you've got an attack plan, it's properly satisfying, and you can really see like, okay, this is not just mindless button bashing, this is, I've got a range of moves that I can really use.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's getting into sort of one-on-one beat 'em up territory in how much you can do. And obviously the enemy AI is not as good as one of those, so it's not quite there, but the range of stuff, it gives you some of that feel, and I'm like, okay, this is really good. It's only a shame that it doesn't feel as meaningful on the grunt enemies, because, you know, they're a bit too easy, and so sometimes you just feel like, oh, I've got all these moves, but to be honest, I could just like hack and slash them and they'll still die. That was the only thing sometimes I felt like I wanted a bit more challenge and variety.
Yeah, I think like, it's a game of progression. You definitely use your moves more strategically. Like there was definitely like, you know, the mixing up the square and the triangle button on the PlayStation Pad, whatever the equivalent is on the Switch. You know, it was like I definitely had to be use them in the correct manner rather than just mash my way through it and stuff like that. And then also you got to be kind of aware, because the enemies have the energy bar above their heads as well. You don't want to kill them off completely, because you want to do that finisher, so that then you can get the more coins or the energy or whatever, and that's like a pretty cool thing. But like, there's also like the Nimpo like skills and things, and then obviously like the big kind of screen filling kind of special finishes that you could do as well. So like, I mean, there's a lot in there really, isn't there? And you can kind of customize your character with all those skills that you can map to the face buttons, and it's pretty deep actually. I thought I really love the dive kick too. The dive kick's fun.
Well, when I was talking about the bosses, the dive kick's one of the ones I'm thinking of, because, you know, you can make real use of, you know, like ground attack, aerial attack, dive kick, bounce off him, go through another round of attack. It's proper satisfying.
You can add skills as well, so you like after you do the bounce, you can then go into like a wheel
do that spinny,
and all that. That's really cool.
I found quite hard to land, but when you do land it, like it feels like you've really earned the hits. I'm gonna chuck something at you now. We haven't prepared. Ninpo.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever heard that in other games? Now, I've got one in mind, and I'm wondering, like, is it like
Ninpo?
It feels like ninjutsu. We've heard that loads of places, you know. Kunai and like shuriken and all these sort of things that have become almost part of our lexicon. We know there's Ninpo. Can you think of anything else?
No, go on. What is it?
Well, no, I don't know the answer.
You don't know? Okay.
More my thought was
you're literally asking.
No, my thought was, I feel like they've, you know, we're not used to that. They've sort of mixed it. But I have got one, and I'm either going to look super clever, like I've come up with something, or I'm going to look like a massive dick. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'll take the risk. Nimpo Hagabusi. Huh? Is that one?
Is that what he said?
Don't know.
I don't even know if that's what he said. Obviously, who knows? I mean, Matt Pinnell used to say, meatballs, I'm going to have some. So.
Meatballs, I'm going to have some. I always like, why no grass? Why no grass? That was a good one.
You never figure those out.
No. Anyway, but there you go. Apparently, they're all Yuzo Koshiro. Like his,
he
did all his own
vocal things. It was, wasn't it?
So not dissing you, Koshiro-san, but also, why no grass? I always thought he just sounds like he's from the West Country. Do you know what I mean? Like he's literally walked out into this garden. He hasn't watered it for a bit. He's a bit disappointed. He turns to his wife and he says, "Why no grass?" Like a pirate who's bad at gardening. Arr, why no grass? Meatballs, I'm gonna have some. So, Nimpo Hagabusi. I think that is what it is. So somebody tell me in the comments if I'm completely out there. Yeah, something ninja-like, innit? Because the dude who says it is the one that like ninjas about, isn't he, on the boat? You know, do you know what I mean? He does that kind of blurry ninja bit.
Yeah. He's got the kind of trail behind.
I feel like I'm digging myself a Nimpo-shaped hole here, so I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna move on. So, gameplay and combos, I give it a massive tick.
Yeah,
and
enjoyable. I liked that.
I got to tell you, that's the list we had. we were going to talk. That's all the shiz we were going to talk about. So
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm going to take you to something now, which is obviously normally on the book club we ask a simple question, which is this retro game, would you play it today? So I've got to mix it up because obviously today is today. See what I mean? Let's not get metaphysical about it. But
Yeah.
would you still play this in 30 years' time? That's today's
Oh,
question.
30 years. That's quite a long way in the future. I mean, assuming I'm still alive, which is probably quite unlikely.
Never going to happen.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is going to be our retro games back when we get to those kind of times, aren't we? So, yeah, I mean, I'll be, like I say, I think it's going to be in my rotation of Symphony of the Night and the Bloodstained one. So yeah, I can imagine myself playing it because I mean it's like, well, it's been nearly that long, hasn't it, since Symphony of the Night? I suppose.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Do you know what I always think? I always think that there's a big gap between Mega Drive and Saturn, and obviously PlayStation. And so I always think of those generations being like a decade apart, and they're like,
right.
Well, they overlap, so obviously not. So, and so that's weird because Symphony of the Night feels like, I don't know, it feels like maybe only 2 generations ago. I don't know what I'm saying. It doesn't feel that long ago, so you're making me feel old.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, so I suppose my answer would be, as long as I'm able to play it, I can well see it.
Those hands will be seizing up.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, obviously, I've only owned it for a little while, so I'm still in the first flush of enjoying it. It's the honeymoon period. But I'm going to make you I'm going to throw in a last minute comparison, which I think we talked about before. But if you haven't played it, the game Hades, which on a lot of systems, I've also got it on the Switch, right?
They just released the second one.
They just released Hades 2, yeah. So
okay, yeah.
And it's a different game. Hades is like kind of isometric looking at. It's also like procedurally generated, so like you get like a lot of variety of levels. There's a lot of things that are different about it. But couple of things that are really similar is that you can increase your moveset, you can mix your moveset up by changing your weapons. There's a lot of sort of similar kind of almost hack and slash moves, but there's a bit more thought about it. And it's just something about the feel of the attacking, feel of like the combat that just reminds me of playing Shinobi. Anyway, the point of making the comparison, because they're not exactly the same, there's just enough of it in there, is that I've been playing Hades and going back to it like over and over again over like what must be 4 or 5 years now. It's just, there's something about both games, and I'll say it about Art Bend just now, I'll switch back to that one, that really is in my sweet spot, which is something that I could literally pick up for 5 minutes, or I could sit there and play it for a couple of hours. That'll always get my attention, you know, like it's the same reason, well, it's not the same, it's one of the reasons I keep going back to Streets of Rage 2 is obviously it's amazing, but you can pick that game up and you can have a full run through, or you can play a couple of levels, it's just still as good, it doesn't matter like what you do. That is my sweet spot for a game. If I could just have a quick blast in it, or I can play it loads. And I feel this game nails it, because you could just play a single level, like have a good, like, you know, quick run through, smash some bad guys' heads in and whatever with your nimble hagabusi. And I'm digging that hole again. But or you could get back into it, do a playthrough, try and 100% it. I think you have 100% it, haven't you?
I did, yeah, 100% of it, yeah.
None of that for you then.
I had no intent. Well, no, but the thing is, after you beat the game, there's it opens up different modes. So there's like a boss rush mode and the arcade mode, which was in the demo, but like you can play it in a much more linear fashion.
Without like the story elements and all that.
Yeah. So it's like you can again like probably have a quick blast of it. So
see,
you know,
that
stuff
thinking
opens up.
I'm telling you, the old Lizardcube, they're sitting there going, "How can we make this game more fun?" That is their mantra, obviously in a French accent, which I can't really do.
Of course, you have to. You nail that.
I was fishing. You can tell me that all you like, my friend.
Is that what that smell is?
I'll tell you. Listen, we had a bit of a disclaimer before we start recording. I've had a cold. I've got a bit of a cough. You made me laugh like that, and I'm going to be spluttering and all kinds of shizzle and
Oh man.
So look, yes, I think I'll still be playing it long into the future. I genuinely really love it, and I get the criticism. I understand like that people like may not love the style, they may not love the moves, they may not love this or that, whatever. But I'd say one thing for me, which is Shinobi as a franchise has massively danced around. It's like its core moveset has evolved and changed, and SEGA were never afraid to fiddle around with it. Its core style has hugely shifted between games, so we haven't even touched on like Shinobi on the PS2 or Kunoichi or whatever it's called, this the other one, you know, which obviously go to 3D and massively change the style and characters and moveset and all that. It has always moved around. I think Lizardcube have sat down and they've captured the core bits which feel like Shinobi, and then they've just said, how can we make it more fun? And I think that's perfect. That is exactly what I would have wanted. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Me too. Here.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Well then, you know, we've already briefed it, but let's just do a little reminder, because having played this little beauty, where are we going next, my friend?
Oh, we are going to Castlevania, the new generation / what was the Japanese version called? Vampire Killer?
Vampire Killer, yeah.
And then in America, what was it called? Bloodlines.
Bloodlines. Because I was going to say Bloodstain. That's something else.
I know. I confused myself from earlier. Yeah. But it's, so we're going to be playing a little Castlevania on the Mega Drive action, basically.
I didn't notice that, because obviously in the last video, no one cares. But like, we talked about the different nodes. Didn't mention Vampire Killer. That's the ROM that I was using to do the video.
I forgot until you mentioned it. It's like, oh yeah, of course.
It's all good.
You know why? I think because on... Because I have the Mega Drive version, but like just for ease of use, like I have a kind of compilation package thing, like a Castlevania Anniversary or something on the PlayStation that I play a lot, just like, you know, for like a quick 5-10 minute blast, like we were saying, and it always calls it New Generation or Bloodlines. It doesn't say the Vampire Killer bits, and I think that was like, you know, that name was kind of getting lost in the depths of my mind, so it's a good job you mentioned it again. So.
Actually, and a side note, I don't think it's the same collection, but that Castlevania collection that came out on sort of modern consoles recently, do you remember I got that for free?
Did you?
They just randomly put it on the Epic Game Store for free. I don't know why.
That's nice. Which one? Is it the DS games or?
Well, it's got a whole bunch of them. It's got the SNES game on it. It's got this one.
That's the one I'm playing. Yeah. I think that's just Anniversary Collection. Yeah.
And it's like just like old Larton's popped up, and you went, yeah, it's on there for free.
Yeah, it's good. Actually, because it's getting near Halloween as well, they usually do some discounts on some of those. So, like, I think I've got on the PlayStation, I think they've pretty much covered all the kind of 2D Castlevania games, because you can get the Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood package as well. And then they've got those 16-bit ones, and I think there's even Game Boy games in that one as well. But then they've done the Game Boy Advance games, which is a collection of 3 games, and then I think it was only probably last year they did the collection with the 3DS games, and they're decent as well. Like I was saying like earlier, like I really like that Order of Ecclesia. Like that was a really good game, and that's in that, and that's the last package that I need to get for my whole 2D Castlevania collection.
You've got to get yourself a package, my friend.
I know. I'm gonna. Don't you worry.
Christmases are coming. Just saying. Although I feel like in our conversations I've suggested that to you quite a lot, so whoever's getting your Christmas presents this year has got a big list. That's what we're going to say.
Just get me the PlayStation voucher thing, whatever it is. If my wife sees this, that's what I'm after. So.
Yeah. Well, look, good stuff. I think we're giving that good credit. I'm happy. I'm satiated. Sated?
Yes.
Who knows? Let's move on.
Yeah, but wow. So I think we've come to the end. Then just because this is a special, you don't think I'm not going to do it because of
thought maybe
this has been great.
Nice. He did stick to his word. He's gone. Laters.